Hi everyone, my name is Faik Saktob, and together with Casey Andales, Julie Braga, Juliet Bacos, and Erskine Borlat, we are going to discuss things about the Suzuki method. Okay, the Suzuki method is one of the interesting teaching methods in teaching music, and we will see how this idea came up and how this idea came across the globe. So now we are going to discuss things about Suzuki method. I'm going to discuss first the history behind this idea. Now, let us know first what is the Suzuki method. Okay, what is the Suzuki method? The Suzuki method is a well-known music curriculum and teaching philosophy founded by the Japanese violinist and pedagogue Shinichi Suzuki. Okay, the guy behind the Suzuki method is Shinichi Suzuki, a Japanese violinist, and he is also a teacher, a music teacher. This method aims to create a learning environment for music in which he aligns it with the linguistic environment of acquiring a native language. And then, his idea was based on the principle in which he believed that all children possesses an ability, and that ability or skill can be developed and enhanced through nurturing learning environment. So we will see how Suzuki came up with the idea, how Shinichi came up with this idea throughout his life. Now, this is the guy behind the Suzuki method. It is Shinichi Suzuki. Now, the history of the Suzuki method. Okay. For starters, Shinichi Suzuki was the son of Japan's first and largest violin manufacturer. So Shinichi Suzuki was the son of the violin maker. Although somehow he made fascinated, or his environment was surrounded by violins. Although he never learned music formally because of the environment around him, which is the violin, he teach himself how to play a violin as he was inspired by one of the recordings of Musical Bellman of Ave Maria. So, he self-taught on how to play the violin. Then through time, he dedicated himself to study the instrument, and by the age of 22, he traveled to Berlin, Germany to study with the renowned violinist Karl Klinger. Then he met Albert Einstein. Although Albert Einstein, as we know, is a known scientist. But remember, he is also a enthusiast of the violin, and through him, he was associated with many of the world's leading artists and thinkers. So, by the time he went to Germany, he met Karl Klinger and Albert Einstein, and through his association with them, he was known to many musicians and artists throughout Germany throughout that time. And then he married Walter Prang, a concert soprano, and then they returned to Japan in 1928, where he began his teaching career in teaching music and performing with the Suzuki Quartet. Now, continuation of the history of Suzuki method. Okay, during his trip in Germany, he observed how kids easily learn their mother tongue, which is the German, in which he at first struggled to learn. Then back on his hometown, he also observed that the Japanese children easily learn their mother tongue, which is the Japanese, which is more complicated than German. Throughout his observations, he realized that all children are able to learn their mother tongue effortlessly through listening, imitation, and then vice versa. That's why he that's why he came up with the idea, the Suzuki method, excuse, in which he aligned it with the development of linguistics. And then he concluded that learning music can be that way too, which is through listening, then imitation, then do it again, if taught with love and dedication, just like what he did to himself. Now, the Suzuki, he taught using the concept character first, ability second, in order to embrace the whole learner as an individual rather than learning first the instrument. To put it in simple perspective, he wants the learner to embrace themselves as an individual, to see their potential, to see their strengths, weaknesses, and to have their passion for learning rather than for learning first the concept, in this case in teaching music and how to play the musical instruments. Because of this idea, he came up with the idea called talent education, and then soon established a school in Matsumoto, Japan. So this is what he did during his teaching career and then as a musician in Japan. He taught Japanese children like this one, like these kids, how to play the violin, and so is this one. Now, talent education, let us discuss what is talent education. Refers to the development of skill, knowledge, and character. Because of the idea, he came up with talent education, which is development of skill, knowledge, and character. It is derived from the Japanese word saino, which can be translated as it can be both translated as ability and talent. Saino can also be mean to the development of ability and talent in a skills area such as music and personal development. His idea, because of this, was interested by other teachers, and they came to Japan to study the Suzuki method. Then this teaching method was spread across Japan, and its material and the learning materials to be used are developed for teaching cello, flute, and piano. Not just violin, he also teach on how to play cello, flute, and piano. Then in 1958, a film of young Suzuki children performing was shown to a group of string teachers in Ohio. So this is the time where the Suzuki method came across the globe. First, they know how they discovered how the young Suzuki children knows how to play musical instruments so perfectly that was appraised by musical teachers in Ohio. This was provoked a great deal of excitement around the musical establishments at how Suzuki implemented the idea, how he came up with the idea, and he implemented in application in teaching in music. Then in 1964, knowing that this is going to happen, that Suzuki somehow knew that across the globe are interested in this method, Suzuki came up with the idea. Suzuki took a group of Japanese students who are now just like in Bisaya, mura na silang mga professional ng mga musicians. He sent these students to the United States to perform at the Music Educators Conference. Since then, the desire to learn was known to the general public, and the ideas of talent education and the Suzuki method has spread across the globe, and that's how Suzuki method was flourished. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll leave the next topic to my groupmates.
Okay, good morning everyone. So I am tasked to report about the Suzuki philosophy. So Suzuki talent education or Suzuki method combines a music teaching method with a philosophy which embraces the total development of a child. So Dr. Suzuki's guiding principle was, there is, character first, ability second. Next, the essence of his philosophy may be found in the following quotes from his many writings. So first, musical ability is not an inborn talent but an ability which can be developed. Any child who is properly trained can develop musical ability just as all children develop the ability to speak their mother tongue. The potential of every child is unlimited. The next one, teaching music is not my main purpose. I want to make good citizens, noble human beings. If a child hears fine music from the day of his birth and learns to play it himself, he develops sensitivity, discipline, and endurance. He gets beautiful heart. The next one, where love is deep, much will be accomplished. Next, my dream is for the happiness of all children. I feel respect and friendly feelings for everyone. In particular, I cannot help but feel respect and warm feelings for young children. And my heart brims over with a desire to help make all the children born upon the earth fine human beings, happy people, people of superior ability. My whole life energies are devoted to this end. The next one, man is the son of his environment. Next, I have no doubt that people are born with hereditary physiological differences, but I believe that a person's abilities grow and develop depending on the stimulation from outside. The next one, I firmly believe that any child can become superior, and my confidence has never been betrayed. Next one, an unlimited amount of ability can develop when parent and child are having fun together. Okay, the next philosophy. Music is a language that goes beyond speech and letters, a living art that is almost mystical. This is where its emotional impact comes in. Dr. Suzuki's philosophies reflect on his profound love for children and mankind. He believed that all children are talented and should be educated. We all share this philosophy when applied to literacy. We expect all children to master the mother tongue and achieve a basic level of fluency in reading, writing, and speaking. Our society makes great efforts in teaching each child. The pedagogy principles, studied, taught, and applied, has taken into consideration the broad spectrum of each child's learning needs. Society assumes that each child has the ability to learn the language. Dr. Suzuki extends this philosophy to music. He said that all children are musically talented and should be educated. Educators only need to embrace the learning needs of each child and allow each child to achieve a level of musical achievement. Dr. Suzuki promotes what he calls the mother tongue method. From birth, the child will try to imitate the environment around her. This includes all things positive and negative. A child who is immersed in language will master it well before reaching school age. Dr. Suzuki suggests taking the same approach with music or any subject matter we desire a child to master. He called this approach as talent education.
Good afternoon. I'm going to discuss or report about listening, parental environments, and environment. In Suzuki methodologies of music, it is important to understand what is the what is listening and how it is important in music. So in music we need to take a lesson. Okay, kailangan ita maminaw in every situation, every tone, in every activity. Kay mas important gid siya as a bago pa bitaw ka beginner and as a child. So you need to lesson kung unsa ba ang ato ang kita pud nga tigtudlo ato yung ayuhon. Kay kung unsa ba yung mapamati sa bata is mo ang ilang i-apply. Like example, mukanta ta. Then ang kanta is mali day ang tono. So mo na apply sa atong gitudluan. So ma-apply gid nila, di ba? Kay maminaw man sila. Okay? Kanang naa siya big rule ang lesson. So lesson is and also kanang naroon siya situation kay kailangan kung di ba kung sa music po kung mag-guitar ka kung ano nimong kanang kuan unsay asya nga bagay nga chords, di ba? Ay sini siya o di ba? So dapat you hear kailangan gid siya magkuan maminaw gid siya. Okay, then yung parental involvement. So in every children or every child or siblings or daughter nimo kailangan ang parental involvement. So nadira ang teacher, child or parent kailangan na siya mag-collab, di ba? For example, ang isa ka bata is naay practice or naay sige dili lang naay kanang contest nga kuan kanta or magkuan siya appeal siya ana. Okay, so ang teacher kay advisor niya na siya dito kay mo guide sa bata, and ang parents pud naapod siya dito kay mo support sa iyang anak, di ba? So that's the importance. Okay, kay dili ba basta-basta pud ang music, no? Okay, then next is environment. So kung mo sa environment, kailangan pud ang environment kay fit pud sa imong gabuhaton. Example, magtuon ka og music, so fit pud ang environment sa imong gabuhaton nga occasion or nga kasi mong gabuhaton. Example, mag-practice ka og kanang kuan music, so asa man ka dito lugay ka sa gasaba-saba, baso dito gid ka sa ikaw ra food or naaman gani pero dili kay kuan kanang makabalupog ka hana. So the listening, parental involvement and environment is need and naagid na siyang tulo, mag-collaborate pud na siya. Okay, kung may parental, so kailangan man silang advice, so dapat pamati ka. Then kung makaman ka pamati ang environment pod. So okay,
Everyone, my name is Joyce Sibacos and my report for today is all about all the following factors are at works when a child learns to speak using the Suzuki method. We all know what is Suzuki methods. It is a methods of teaching uses the mother tongue approach. Here are the following factors of Suzuki methods that we found in the Google. The first one is repertoire. But what is repertoire? It is a major contribution to music education. Each carefully chosen piece becomes a building block for the future education. Technique, musicianship, and style developed through the study and repetitions of these pieces. Reading. Following of acquisitions of good oral, technical, and musical skills, just as reading language begins after the child can speak fluently. At the stage at which the child begins to learn reading music varies. Integrating music reading program with the Suzuki is vital to the child development. On the third one, individual and group activities. This will give experience and positive reinforcement of concept earned in their individual lesson. Students also take part in performance and workmanship and observe other children's lessons.